So I'm going to try to tread lightly here so that it doesn't get misconstrued and turned and twisted. For people to think that it's something, I'm saying something that I'm really not saying. So I'm going to tread carefully here. So apparently JFK, he had a very close friend, going back to boarding school, named Lem Billings. You can look him up. There's tons of pictures of the two of them. He went on vacations with Jackie and JFK. He was part of the family. And that may seem fine, but look up the pictures. Or I'll post some of them. But he had his own room at the White House. This is who JFK leaned on for support. I mean, emotional and otherwise. I'm not saying anything physical, but it was an intimate relationship on some level. And it was a love-hate relationship for Jackie. Because he went on vacations with them. He was always there. Always. And they met in boarding school, and really it's sad reading. You can read all about this, about the back and forth that went on. It was really like JFK gained more out of the relationship than he did, than Lem Billings did. Lem Billings was gay. So that's why I said I'm going to tread lightly, because I don't want people to think that's what I'm going after here. However, that was back in a time when, that wasn't so accepted. So maybe that's why nobody was told about this. When it comes to a president, we should know about them. I'm not saying that makes him bad if he, some people say that really all the womanizing was really to cover for that relationship that he was having for a long time. So here's what's strange, though, and it has nothing to do with Lem Billings being gay. However, Lem Billings was in love with JFK and had expressed that. But they bought a puppy together on vacation. He's on vacation with Jackie O, and the two of them are buying a puppy together. There's just some, strange pictures where they're laying on a Chase lounge, in their swimsuits. No big deal, but it just, I'll post a couple of the pictures. And not to go after the relationship, but to say this Lem Billings stayed so close to Kennedy. It was as if it was the dark cloud over the Kennedy family. Because after JFK died, Lem Billings became the best friends to RFK. Senior, not junior, senior. Lem Billings is dead now. Joe Kennedy saw Lem Billings as another son. So, many people have, made theories or, suggestions about why the Kennedys have the curse on them, right? Well, they were Nazi supporters. They were. They did like every president does, or everybody in leadership. They present one thing to you, but behind the scenes, they were doing something else. It's the whole reason Obama was brought here. It's the whole reason Ted Kennedy, there's so many pictures of Ted Kennedy and Obama chumming it up, okay? It's not hard to put this together. If the Kennedys were really a legit family and telling the truth, then they would have never supported Obama. Never, because of him being tied to Bill Ayers, and Bill Ayers praising Sirhan, who killed RFK. So there's no, how do they get around that? They can't, so, besides the fact that Bill Ayers is, a domestic terrorist, but this Lem Billings, it's almost as if that's your dark cloud that comes in. There's really something to be said that if you're going to support Nazism, then you really sold your soul. And if Joe Kennedy did, and Joe Kennedy was not a good person. The dad, Joe Kennedy, was not good. Nope. He was like your 13 bloodline those 13 families that have been controlling everything. The money and power is more important to them than their own children, than their own family. They don't care. That's why they keep it so much in the family. So it's just interesting that as soon as JFK died, and Lem Billings was heartbroken, but then he fixated himself onto RFK, and RFK on him as well. Strange. It's really strange. So, given that they did support Nazism, then that's supporting communism. That's supporting the genocide of... That's supporting a whole lot of death, put it that way. No matter how much you think they're beautiful, they're lovely. Yeah, okay, well, that's part of the charade. The charade. But, yeah, so Lem Billings, you can look him up. I'll post a couple pictures. But you have to wonder, I think that maybe you sell out your soul when you support Nazism. Don't you see that? Don't you see how the people that are the far left, like way far left progressives, where they're not even progressives, they're just using that word, they're just straight up communists. You don't see like a lot of care. They don't have that like loving heart. There's something missing. There's something empty there. I don't know if people notice that. You see it in Hitler. You see it in Stalin. You see it in Karl Marx. I mean, in all their writings, or the way they carry themselves. They're empty. They're empty because they've zapped their soul out. They sold out. They sold their birthright, their soul. Joe Kennedy would be the type of person that would sell his kid's birthright just to get into a leadership position. He wanted to be president, and it didn't happen for him, but he was going to make damn sure one of his kids got in. Look at how many Kennedys have been sacrificed at that altar. Because that's the altar where that you follow that God, you're going to be sacrificing things, people. Or you're going to be selling your kids' birthrights before they're even born. I don't know, it's just something to think about given this Lem Billings that none of us were told about. And here's the reason is because, well, one, he was gay, even though they said the two of them didn't have a relationship, JFK and him. However, it was very intimate. He was more intimate with him on an emotional level than he was at all with Jackie O. And what's really even more important about this is the fact that this would have disgraced his Catholic roots. Not that I support Catholicism or any of the religions. I'm just saying I think that's why it was hidden more than anything. I mean, yeah, if it was just a friend, but you don't take your friend, your best friend, from boarding school and you have them living with you and staying in the White House and you're buying puppies together when you're an adult on vacation with your wife. I mean, yeah, so I think Joe Kennedy, I've said before, the Kennedys are the sons of perdition. And the sons of perdition, God makes it very clear what path they're on. So maybe Lem Billings was that dark cloud hanging over the Kennedys. And when he died, maybe another dark cloud came over them. It's also interesting that there's so many photos. If you look up JFK Jr., almost all the photos are him just in a bathing suit all the time. All the time, all the time. Like, in some you've never even seen before that are rather, strange. But, yeah, JFK Jr., like how Hunter Biden doesn't seem to have a problem, just walking around naked. Now, JFK wasn't doing that. But if you look up, there's more pictures of him just in a bathing suit than anything else. A wickedness that has surrounded that family and Biden's.